Good afternoon, everyone. This is Andy Karuza with NachoNacho, the #1 place to manage, discover, and save on SaaS. And today I have Dharmesh Patel with Adzapier, and we'd love if we would start to introduce this product and give us a quick elevator pitch for what they do.
Hey Andy, thank you for having us. Adzapier is a content management platform designed for modern digital world. Our platform empowers businesses to effortlessly comply with the global privacy regulation, such as GDPR, CCP, and more. Adzapier streamlined process of obtaining and managing, documenting user consent, helping you avoid costly fines and safeguard your business reputation through user-friendly interface and powerful analytics. We provide transparency to users and add valuable insight to your teams, enabling trust and nurturing strong customer relationships. With Adzapier, you do not only protect your business but also foster culture of respect of your data privacy.
Great pitch, love it. So what got you into data privacy, I guess? What got you started in your career, and how did you end up where you are now?
Very good question. My career actually started as a deep my fascination of understanding patterns and making sense of a vast amount of data. I realized early on that data isn't just about numbers and figures; it's voice of customers and their behaviors, which can tell like a compelling story about what they need and want. This led me to my first role as a data analyst, where I honed my skill in user behavior, and that translated into actionable business insight. As I began to see impact on my insight, as I began to see impact of my insight on business decisions, I was inspired to explore more customer-centric role, which led me to marketing. And I have been able to combine my analytical background and creative marketing strategies to create targeted campaigns that are not only reach right audiences, but also resonate at a deeper level. This blend of like a data and creativity had been both most challenging and rewarding aspect of my career. And with introduction of a strict privacy regulation, brought a new dimension in my career. Understanding and navigating this loss become a crucial, and this is what actually inspired development of Adzapier, a platform that matches data utilization with user consent.
Great, yeah, yeah. It's rare to find people that are left brain and right brain at the same time. They could blend the marketing experience and understand the data side as well, right? Because it
Correct.
doesn't really matter if you have a bunch of data; you have to know what to do with it. And then where I think you guys have really specialized with that Zapier is that UX, right? Making it easy for people to understand the importance of data privacy, and then giving them a simple, easy to use tool where they can actually help their data privacy needs. So with
Correct.
that said, what do a lot of companies get wrong about data privacy today? I know it's been a hot topic over the last few years.
That's a good question. In my experience, one of the biggest mistake that many companies makes when it comes to like a data privacy is treating it as a like checkbox solution, checkbox activity rather than like core business principle. Um, Companies often view privacy regulation as like a inconvenience obligation, something to comply with just to avoid fines, rather than an opportunity to build a trust and loyalty with their customers. One company I know collected data without clear purpose and adequate security, right? Thinking more about like data equally than thinking more data equals more insights. However, like with the data breach led to significant reputation damage. This basically underscores the importance of balancing data collection with respect to customer privacy. It is just not about collecting data, but doing it responsibly, securely, and with consent. At Adzapier, we believe privacy isn't just about compliance. It is more about demonstrating respect of your customers.
Yeah, and that's a great point. A lot of people are actually they're pretty well aware now of data privacy issues and like where and how their data is being used. And if you abuse that relationship, it has a huge negative effect on the brand, right? I mean, we all remember Cambridge Analytica and Facebook and the whole controversy around that. Now,
Yeah,
nobody really trusts Facebook, even though some people still use it addictively. But it has a big impact on your brand reputation, right? And if you do focus on privacy, right, it's very important to have those logos and all the right places to show that we care, we take your security very seriously here, if that makes sense.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess what are the most common data privacy issues that a lot of companies deal with? Obviously, being subjective to like phishing attacks or hacking attacks, where a bunch of data gets leaked about their customers that their customers didn't even know they had. But what other common issues do you see?
In terms of common data practices, right? Like what kind of issues business leader needs to be aware of today. In terms of data awareness, think about compliance, right? So compliance like a GDPR and CCPA is crucial. For example, well, you give an example about Facebook, Cambridge Analytica, right? In 2018, they got sued for $5 billion because uh, they harvested customer data without prior consent. Another aspect of the data is basically data protection. Business needs to be aware of the data protection, how data is collected, how is basically stored securely. Um, Companies needs to have a robust data security measure to prevent breaches, right? Another example would be in that Target in 2013, where the credit card information of like 40 million customers were stolen, and that actually importance of data protection and and have a lack of transparency. A lot of companies don't have a lack of transparency in terms of companies must have like a clear to know where the data is collected, how is it collected, and where the basically data is going, and having a sufficient consent management platform. It is crucial for businesses to obtain and manage user consent properly. Um, and also data minimization, like you said, not having a lot of data doesn't mean a good thing. Yeah, collecting more data than necessary can to lead to a lot of problems as well. So understanding
Mhm.
these kind of issues can help business leaders create a strategic policy that is not only comply with the regulation but also respect user privacy choices.
Great point. What are some of the main privacy laws, I guess, that people have to worry about? GDPR is one. So if a company was going to start a basic privacy policy and get a basic privacy policy in place, where should they start to kind of, Pareto principle, hit 80% of the privacy rules with 20% of the effort?
Yeah, it's see creating a if creating privacy policy is one thing, but if you want a company wants to implement like a data privacy policy in their core strategy, there's a multiple steps. It involves commitment from all level of organization. And here's some of the steps that companies can take. First, understand the regulation. First step is to make sure understand the data privacy laws applicable to their businesses, such as CCPA, GDPR, etc. And depending on the region of the company operates in, this include understanding what data you can collect, how you can use it, and what rights are involved. Also, creating a data audit, conduct like a comprehensive data audits of data that you currently hold. Understand what data you have, where it comes from, and how it used, and how it's stored and protected as well. And in terms of a privacy policy, based on your understanding of regulation and the data you hold, develop a privacy policy that is transparent, easy to understand, and communicate how you collect and use and protect users' data. And security measures. You need to have a robust data security measures to protect user data from breaches. This might include like encrypting, securing data storage, access control, and regularly do a security audit, and establish a consent management platform like Adzapier. Implement a process to obtain, manage, and document user consent for the data that you collect and use. Ensure that the user can easily withdraw from consent if needed. And the third is make sure train your employees, educate all employees about the importance of data privacy, the company policies, and their role to ensure compliance. And actually, this will help foster a company-wide culture and data privacy.
Excellent.
Implementing data privacy isn't just about like compliance, right? It is more about building a trust from an Adzapier point of view. Companies that prioritize like data privacy are more likely to earn customer loyalty and outperform their competitors in the long run.
No, I definitely agree with you, and that's where the trend is going, right? So companies should be ahead of the ball. The world's becoming more and more and more about data, and there's a right way to use it, and there's a wrong way to use it. But users are becoming a lot more educated on all the issues because they've seen it in the news, right? So it's becoming more of an expectation for companies, and that all it is really it comes down to that transparency, right? And then having the right internal processes. So it's good to just be transparent about how you use the data. A lot of companies just try to hide it, but we're past that age now. I think people, ask that question actually, like, how are you actually going to use my data? I've seen that trending upwards over the last 5 or 10 years. It's become really relevant for companies. So that's where companies like yours really come in and help them there. Do you guys work with any consultant partners maybe? Like, say a young company might not, understand all the rules and whatnot. Do you guys have like consultant partners that you would recommend to them to help structure a strategy, or do you guys offer a service like that as well?
Currently, we don't actually offer that kind of services. We know data privacy is rapidly evolving field, right? There is a lot of technology advancement, regulatory changes continuously happening. But as a company, you need to be aware of like what laws are important to your business. So you need to stay informed. This is why we have like an educational program, a lot of blog posts on our website to educate people on a data importance, data privacy, data centralization, data minimization, like why you need to minimize use of data, how can you be more transparent in terms of collecting data, and be innovative in terms of providing services and consultancies. We don't actually do that at the moment, but we actually help companies use our product and services to be compliant and build their privacy policies and data strategies around our products and services.
That's great. Do you have any examples of companies that maybe where a data privacy policy actually saved them? Say if there was like a hack or something that came up along the lines?
Not specific example, because
there's a lot of bad examples.
right. What there's no like example of a like privacy policy saving company, because that data is not publicly available data, right? Very sensitive nature of like such information. But there are use cases, right? That where robust privacy practices have protected companies from potential crises like legal issues and reputation damages. One of the example I can give you is Apple, right? Apple commitment to data privacy. Apple has a long take a stand on privacy as a fundamental human right, and embrace privacy as like a business model and a product design. Their firm stand on like a privacy was met with a widespread support of technology companies, privacy advocates, and many customers. So in my opinion, like if you want to build something like privacy, look at Apple as one of the examples.
Yeah, much to the dismay of advertisers.
Right.
Recent updates. Yep. So I guess failure comes with any profession. Could you tell us about a story where you failed and what you learned from it? I feel like those bring out kind of the best learning experiences from people. Myself having failed before, I always look back on those moments as like the best learning opportunities.
Well, failure comes with any profession, but what do you do with those failures,
Different.
right? I believe with failure comes like an opportunity to pivot. Uh, one example I can give you where we fail and where I fail as a company when we actually implemented a new CRM system. Uh, we were excited about potential benefit of the new system. Uh, I underestimated the time required for training the staff and the transition. Right when we launched the
Yeah.
system, it became very clear that team was struggling to adapt and to changes. That leads to basically decrease in productivity and morale. As a leader, that taught me a crucial importance of the change management system, right? Where since then we made it a priority throughout, like we made it a priority to consider like a human element in any project, ensuring
Mhm.
sufficient training and support in place. This includes realistic, like making a timeline, communicating clearly with the stakeholder, and provide a comprehensive training and resources. This is one of the failure. Basically, it provides me a learning moment in my career, reminding me that the most promising tool and system are not as good as your team ability to effectively make them effective. So train your
Yeah,
team, make sure set up the right expectations.
yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people look at something that looks great on paper, right? But you have to think through all those, all those long tail scenarios, like training the staff, actually implementing it, the
Correct.
time to refresh whatever CRM system you had before then. There's so many of those small little nuanced questions you have to answer before starting on a project.
Correct. Correct. I agree 100%.
Um, so I guess what kind of so that's the challenge that you face as a company. I guess in the early days, how did you guys get your initial growth going for Adzapier?
Well, as if you started, like I said, well, we saw opportunity in building a consent management solution. Um, as a company, we faced a lot of challenges from the beginning, from like a funding to finding the right team, having the right marketing as well. Because as a new entrant to like a competitive market, standing out was a significant challenge for us. We focus on
Yeah.
understanding like our target customers deeply, tailored our products and marketing effort in their specific needs, and understand regulatory compliance. Being in data privacy industry, it help. We need to navigate a lot of complex landscape of data regulation. Was it like a big hurdle for us? But there's a lot of like any company, there comes with a lot of challenges, and we came through it. And each, like I said, each failure or hurdle is an opportunity to learn something new.
Yeah, and if the audience wants, feel free to post any questions that you might have about data privacy, and we'll get to those after the next question or two from Dharmesh here. I guess what's one thing that potential customers should know about Adzapier, and why should they pick your platform over others?
Well, Adzapier, in my opinion, stands out because we prioritize data privacy. Data privacy is not just about regulatory requirement, but it's a core business principle that it will respect value of your customers. What's truly set us apart is a dedication to make privacy understandable, accessible, not just for businesses but their end users as well. We believe that when a user trusts company with their data, they're also entrusting them with like their digital identities. We're, we're here to help businesses honor their trust because at Adzapier we believe that privacy is right, not a privilege, just as an Apple. So big Adzapier, and we become your partner to basically help you build a trustworthy digital world.
Yeah, I really love your guys' vision for your product and for what your company does. It's not just a bunch of features that you're throwing out there. Like you really understand the problem, especially since it's a two-sided problem. It's it's companies being able to, looking for a service, number one, but two, making the UX and the education there so they can easily implement something that their customers want. And frankly, people demand these days, which is, privacy and control over their data. So, I find you guys to be a kind of a missing piece in that puzzle there.
Yeah.
So I guess what's next for Adzapier over the next few years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, it's very hard to predict the future, but I wish I can tell you where we can see. But just considering current business trend and trajectories, I believe data privacy is going to here to stay. In terms of what we see, I would like to Adzapier to grow globally. We will expand our services in new market across global, adapting to a local regulations here in US or abroad, and providing a true global consent management solution, and continuously develop new products and services based on evolving customer needs, right, and technological advancement. We may continue to basically add new features, services on our platform, make it easier, add more automation, AI-driven insights, and build an industry-specific solution. And as a business grows, we would like to actually make it more integration with more third parties for our DSAR solution. So we're gonna add more and more third-party integration on our platform, and keep creating a more education, privacy education. Part of our mission is a part of my mission is to make privacy accessible. So we'll focus on education, providing resources, training to help businesses and their user understand and manage data privacy.
Great. Sounds like you're the right guys to do it. We do have a question from the audience. How do you strike a balance between data privacy and government requests for access to data?
Government access to request to access the data. As Adzapier, our data is basically encrypted end to end. So we give ability to companies to provide those kind of requests. Our data is encrypted end to end. We don't actually have the data of the end users. So we will always pass this information to the companies who actually hold this data, so they can actually fulfill the government request.
Got it. And if you were the company, putting yourselves in their shoes, how would you respond to such a request?
So a couple of ways. The one way to do it is as a user. If you're a user, if you want to have those we do have a DSAR as a solution. User asks for removal information, out of information, or write to more information. The DSAR based solution, which allows you to track and actually guide you through each of the regulations, CCPA, GDPR type of requirement, to fulfill those kind of requests from the platform side.
Great. Well, Dharmesh, it's been great having you on today, and I've loved hearing more about Adzapier. And if anybody's serious about their data privacy policies, not only is it great for building trust with your users, it's actually a great marketing tool, but more importantly, it's insurance to make sure that your customers are protected. And it's only a growing trend. So, if you don't have a strategy in place now, I'd highly recommend starting with their educational materials. These guys, from what I've seen, seem to be one of the industry leaders. So definitely recommend their product. You can pick it up today in our B2B SaaS marketplace. Just look up Adzapier in the little search bar there, and you can find the #1 tool here for privacy, for data privacy policies. And once again, Dharmesh, really appreciate you coming on today. And it was great learning about you and your great company and the interesting stuff that you guys are working on.
All right. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me.